Buenos dias. Thanks to all of you for joining this morning. And I'm sorry we couldn't meet in person this week, but I'm still excited to get to talk to you about the latest with Infor OS and Infor Coleman. My name is Rick Ryder, and I'm a Senior Director in charge of Product Management of Technology at Infor. During this session, I will give an overview of Infor OS and the key value it provides. And then I will go into an in-depth presentation behind Infor Coleman. Towards the end, we will look at what artificial intelligence means for your business and how Infor Coleman can play a critical role in your innovation cycle. But first, let's talk about Infor OS. And we like to describe it as a technology stack that allows your organization to expand, innovate, and ultimately differentiate. Widely known in the analyst community as Infor's, quote, best kept secret, we provide a unique ensemble of tools that allow you to connect your entire ecosystem, then understand the context of your business data, embed proactive and predictive capabilities within Infor Coleman, and thereby empower your business for fast future innovation. We have a deep history of customer success with over 3.5 million users on our cloud solution, and our usage grows exponentially every quarter as we continue to scale. We have over 10,000 customers worldwide, which highlights our large month-by-month numbers when it comes to managing the critical aspects of our customers' business. Our footprint continues to grow, and our main priority continues to be innovation and infinite scale for our customers. For a moment, I want to talk about the heart of Infor OS. Most know about Ion, our application integration engine, or our enterprise UX strategy, formerly known as Mingle. But perhaps many don't know why we build what we build within Infor OS. We strive to fill gaps that slow traditional businesses from advancing their company's technological advantage. We want to challenge businesses from complacency by providing a connected toolset that minimizes the overhead. And therefore, we built Infor OS, a network of business-critical tools that, when combined, allow innovation in the areas at the top highlighted in blue. The areas in gray describe the main components of Infor OS, and while each represents a critical piece of the puzzle, none are quite as strong without the other. For example, if we focus on the ability to, say, form a unique enterprise user experience, the main components of Infor OS involved are, of course, the portal for single sign-on, security with federated services, things like document management, and our mobile app experience with Infor Go, and even the newer Coleman Digital Assistant. However, each of these by themselves are somewhat useless and need a host of other purchased and integrated technologies to really see the benefits. But instead, Infor OS provides the middleware pieces to power these experiences with little complex overhead. While many technology companies may focus on one key area, it often takes a network of these tools to get these to work properly after months and months of service contracts. Instead, Infor OS gives you the keys to the car to start taking advantage of valuable innovation quickly. The same is true when you start to think about things like machine learning and how to ultimately see an ROI. The science plays just a small role in the equation, but you also need tools to provide a central data strategy and then a way to consume the prediction results in a secure way. The network of components in green allow our customers to see the real benefits of artificial intelligence faster than ever before. But again, what really is Infor OS? Well, first, it's what we call applied technology. It's a technology suite built across multiple business domains, with the number one priority being flexibility over customizations in the cloud. Second, you have heard about our industry applications providing, quote, last mile features. With Infor OS, you are getting the technology last mile, as we call it, which means you are getting an end-to-end framework to actually finish complex projects that allow your organizations to differentiate. And lastly, we're built for the future. So our tools are built with the entire ecosystem in mind to allow you to grow your technology over time as your business expands. As you are ready to take on new complex projects, Infor OS is there to make it as easy as possible. We want to make sure that innovation isn't actually a choice. The collection of tools is what makes Infor OS special. While other platforms focus on just one competency, we focus on the big picture, a complete solution stack to take an idea to production. That's Infor OS. Now let's focus for a bit on Infor Coleman. And for those of you who don't know its history, Infor Coleman was named after a famous NASA mathematician by the name of Katherine Coleman Johnson, who performed celestial navigations for some of the most historical space flights of our past. When we talk about Coleman today, it represents two main offerings. First, the Coleman Digital Assistant, which is primarily a form of extensibility powered by natural language. Represented by skills, Coleman gives the ability to execute any work or queries against your enterprise system through APIs. So if your application provides the ability to, say, update inventory through APIs, then you can simply speak to Coleman and have her execute the work instead of you jumping through screen to screen. Now, the Coleman AI Platform provides the ability to predict aspects of the business. It provides a machine learning platform on top of the Infor OS data lake and finds patterns and abnormalities in your data. This allows you to take advantage of potential issues or opportunities to maximize overall profitability and health of the company. While both are actually considered AI, one is a new way to interact with the system, while the other is a more scientific approach in analyzing your big data. So think of the digital assistant as the ability to run your enterprise system securely through an Alexa device, as an example, instead of through the web browser. While the AI platform is built for business users to start to understand and utilize the insights of machine learning. However, as mentioned earlier, Coleman is a part of a network of components in Infor OS, which allows it to show customers results with much less time and complexity than the market offers today. For today, I'd like to focus in more on the machine learning side. It's my belief that the number one source of future greater ROI comes from insights in your data. And I'm not just talking about standard analytics, but the ability to mine data to discover patterns previously unseen. This is where machine learning plays a huge role in the future of enterprise success. And here at Infor, we want AI to be at the core of all of our applications. Therefore, it's built along with the Infor OS platform. Our vision is that future logic will be determined and created by machine learning predictions and optimizations, and most certainly is not just simply an edge opportunity. As mentioned earlier, all Infor OS components, including Coleman, are open to third-party applications as well. And the same is true for our data lake. With our data lake being that single source of truth, we encourage all data to be passed to the lake in order to maximize the potential in machine learning with Coleman. But what you will see in the next bit of this presentation, Coleman's true competitive advantage lies in its orchestration with Infor OS. A machine learning project is becoming easier to create in IT organizations, but it's putting those results into practice to create those tangible benefits. That's actually the most difficult part of the equation. So let's start at what is required in a machine learning project. Typically, if you worked with an AI vendor to scope this out, these are the high-level tasks that would need to be completed in order to start to see those benefits. So gathering and consolidating data, cleaning and then understanding that data, prepping that data in order for the algorithms to understand, then figuring out what science to even apply to a given use case, then training that model on large amounts of data before finally deploying the model as a trained rule set of sorts, then building the ability to use and consume that trained rule set, and finally figuring out how to do all of this over and over again as new data comes into your system with hopefully as little overhead as possible. This is why most providers quote over a 6-month engagement just to even begin to make progress here with machine learning insights. But this is where we introduce the Infor Coleman AI Platform. While the machine learning platform is a user-friendly and fast way to create those machine learning models, the ensemble of Infor OS allows us to achieve actionable results fast against the checklist provided on the previous slide. This is what the others don't have, the unique ability to put something complex into action with direct context to the business system without bringing in other outside tools and third-party products and licenses. Not to mention the integration overhead just to get each piece of these technologies to communicate together securely. So let's talk about an example that we worked on last year with Visual K in the area of predictive and preventative maintenance. The use case we investigated was around a few catastrophic failures that had occurred at similar plants, both around centrifugal pump malfunctions. We first looked at the operating standards of the equipment to understand the data and what constituted or meant an abnormality. So, as you can see, the OEM standards around the pumps indicated a preferred vibration rate of 0.2 inches per second and a danger threshold of about 0.9 inches per second. We were dealing with a rather small amount of data, so we were unsure how quickly we could get results. But ultimately, our goal was to test the OEM standards and to see if we could somehow eliminate this risk in the future. So the first thing we did was create a machine learning model in just under 2 weeks that was over 90% accurate against the test data, which really just means that Coleman was able to accurately find the abnormalities in the data with great efficiency. But the next logical question was, what were those new thresholds that define these abnormalities? We then published this predictive model into an existing EAM workflow to add a Coleman decision. So Coleman tests the IoT type readings, and if an abnormality is detected, it automatically creates a maintenance order and then notifies the appropriate employees immediately. All of this created in 2 weeks with complete integration to the ecosystem. But what about those thresholds? We determined that Coleman was detecting abnormalities in the data well below the OEM standards. So based on the historical patterns, Coleman was flagging potential issues well below the previous alert and danger thresholds. And this is due to, say, location, installation, project variables, all external factors that influence how that pump is intended to operate. Now with Coleman, your operation standards evolve over time with your business. It's impossible to follow a manual of best practices because, as we know, machines, people, the environment all evolve over time, and we need to adjust. And the best place to see these insights is in your data. If Coleman would have been in place prior, it certainly would have prevented these catastrophic failures, or at a minimum would have alerted the appropriate people to take action. But this isn't just about EAM and predictive maintenance. Coleman was built for machine learning insights across all areas of the business. One thing that we are focusing on heavily is this idea of machine learning templates. Since this area is highly personable to your data, it's impossible to get a complete out-of-the-box solution. But with Coleman and Infor OS, it's certainly possible to get really close and severely reduce your implementation time. We create example machine learning models and also the content to consume those predictions out of the box. And then it can quickly be retrained on your personal data. And we do this across all areas of the business, from pricing science and discount recommendations to demand forecasting and customer attrition. Essentially, any prediction needed with data to support, Coleman can handle. We've even started to work on things like inventory optimization, but built from the insights of maintenance history. So consider monitoring your maintenance history, which actually might have started with predictive maintenance, to better plan and optimize your warehouse inventory at even the spare part level. Eliminate shortages, but also reduce overstock. With Coleman, we can do that. Lastly, we were invited to present at the world's largest AI conference last year, and as a part of that event, we created sort of a commercial style video to introduce Coleman to that audience, and I'd like to share that with you now. I want to encourage you to check out our Infor OS YouTube channel. Here we publish new live demos weekly with content for every area of the Infor OS network, including Infor Coleman. Come subscribe and let us know what new content you might be interested in learning more about. Feel free to contact me at rick.ryder@infor.com. And I really appreciate everyone's attention this morning. And with that, I will turn it back over to the Visual K team.